All right, guys, it is time for the last segment of Odds On Favorites. We just started doing this last week. It is Show Me the Money Lines. We are going to go through the NFL games, and we are just going to pick straight up and help you guys keep track of our records, keep us honest. And this is more just for you guys to get some entertainment out of this. Some of the games we've already kind of talked about throughout the show, but we're just going to go through here and do some straight-up picks. Last week, if you watched the show from last week, Taylor and I both went 10-4 in our picks. Poor Rick over here went 7-7. So 50%, you're going to hit that 500 mark. That's not too bad. He's going to try to redeem himself this week, guys. So I'm just going to jump on here and find the games with the odds. And see, we are going to start with Thursday's game between the Jets and the Browns. Let's see. Rick, let you make your pick first, man.
Yeah, I wrote a pick for our site on this one, and, I'm giving the edge to Cleveland to win the game, but I think the Jets cover the spread. So we'll go Cleveland money line, get the first win of the season, first win since 2016, free beers for everybody.
Man, I'm looking at this. I really don't know what to do because the Jets looked great in week one, then they sucked against the Dolphins. The Browns have been pretty good both weeks, but they Browns it up in the fourth quarter and overtime both times. Oh, God. I don't know if I can do – okay, I'll take the Browns. Whatever.
Go with the Browns. Roll with them. Ride or die with Cleveland.
It feels disgusting, but I'll take the Browns.
You need a shower afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, their name's the Browns.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with the Browns.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep. Yep.
Gonna go with you there. How about Buffalo and Minnesota? Rick, make a pick.
Buffalo to cover the spread. Vikings to win the game. Next.
Vikings to cover the spread and Vikings to win the game.
Yeah. Vikings to win. I don't like saying it out loud, but Vikings to win. Giants and Texans.
I'm going with the Texans, Taylor's team. I think the Giants are going to be one of the worst teams by the end of the year. They just look inept on offense. They look clueless despite all the talent they have. That O-line's terrible. Give me the Texans.
Giants O-line is terrible. If you watch Sunday Night Football, I've never seen a quarterback check down more often than Eli did that night. Just feeding Saquon nonstop. Texans are bad. They look bad both times out. But I can't see him losing at home against the Giants when they're already 0-2, so I'll take Houston.
Yeah, I'm not super sold on the Giants myself, so I'm going to take Houston one out right here also. San Fran and Kansas City.
Chiefs. I picked them to cover the spread. I'm picking them to win easily to win the game outright.
This is another one that feels like a trap to me, especially that spread, but the Niners on the road, yeah, I'll take the Chiefs, even though I'm not feeling great about it.
Yeah, I'm going to ride here with Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to take the Chiefs also. Let's see, what do we got next? New Orleans versus Atlanta. What do we got?
Yeah, this was a tough one. Atlanta bounced back last week. They actually covered a large spread that Taylor and I didn't think they'd be able to cover. And, now they got another divisional game this week. Saints have looked pretty shaky the first 2 weeks. I'm going to have to go with Atlanta to win the game. Don't know if they'll cover the spread, but taking them outright to win.
I don't know what is going on with New Orleans. I don't know how you get crushed by Tampa at home and then squeak by the Browns the next week, both at home. But the talent's still there. I feel like it's going to emerge at some point, and they're going to find it and put it all together. I'm not nearly as sold on Matt Ryan. I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Not exactly a bold statement, but I'll take the Saints just to differentiate.
Yeah, Taylor, I was actually going to say the same thing. I'm not super sold on Matt Ryan myself. I think the Saints have had a rough start to the season, but I definitely, like you said, I think the talent's there, and I think this is a game that they're going to come out and try to prove themselves. So I'm going to take the Saints here to win. How about Green Bay versus Washington, Rick?
Easily Green Bay. Washington just doesn't have the firepower to match Rodgers and company, and their defense isn't an elite defense to hold them down like Chicago kept them down a little bit. Minnesota had them down a little bit. Green Bay's winning this one. Money line, spread, whatever. Take it all.
Yeah, the Redskins won in week 1 impressively, but then we saw how horrible Arizona is, so that's really not an impressive win in the least, so I'll take Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm a big Rodgers fan. I'm definitely going to roll with Green Bay here. Let's see, Colts and Eagles. That's what we got up next. What do we think?
That one was a little tough because I liked what the Colts did last week. They played solid defense. They did enough on offense. But Carson Wentz is supposed to come back and start this week. I think he'll give Philly a boost in Philadelphia. The receiver position looks kind of bad, though. However, I like the Eagles' defense versus that Colts offensive line. I think that gives them the advantage. I'm going with the Eagles in this one.
Yeah, I think Wentz coming back will be a big boost. Eagles, off that huge disappointing loss against Tampa last week, I think they'll bounce back, and I take the Eagles here.
Wentz is back. I'm taking the Eagles. No question about that. Oakland versus Miami.
This is another tough one. This is going to be close. Oakland should have won in Denver last week. They did everything right until the end of the game. They should have won. Miami has beaten Tennessee and the Jets, two teams that I'm not sold on. Miami hasn't looked good in those two games either. Offensively, that offense isn't that great for Miami. You know what? I'm doing it. I'm going with Chucky. I'm taking them to win this game. Go Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders, they're bad, but there's still some talent, and they're not going to go 0-16. This is a road game going West Coast to East Coast, which is usually tough. I think I'll take Miami here just because West Coast teams have a way of struggling when they have to go all the way to the East Coast and all that. This just looks like a gross game in general, but I'll take Miami.
I don't know what I want to do here. I don't know.
Let's flip a coin.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's going to hurt my record, though. I'm going to take Oakland. I'm going to take Oakland on this one.
Come to the dark side.
How about the Broncos versus the Ravens?
Oh, another close game. Baltimore did what I predicted last week, going to Cincinnati and not play well. Cincinnati has their number. However, Baltimore at home is a better team when they're playing at home, and they've had more time to rest than the Broncos have had since the Ravens played on Thursday night last week. I'm going to give the edge to Baltimore at home. I think that defense is going to give Denver some problems, and I don't see Denver's offense scoring as much. It's going to be an ugly game. Got to go with the home team, Baltimore.
Yeah, I think it was impressive the way the Ravens kind of fought back last week after falling down 28-0 in the first half. Denver's had 2 home games. That's the biggest home field advantage in the NFL. They almost lost last week in spite of it. You saw late in the game the Raiders' defense was just totally gassed, and the Broncos kind of just ran it down their throat and kicked the game-winning field goal. I think going into Baltimore, it's a much tougher test, so I'll take the Ravens as well.
I'm going with the dog here. I'm going with the Broncos to beat Baltimore. Has nothing to do with my hatred for the Ravens at all. But I'm gonna be a little different here. I'm gonna take the Denver to go into Baltimore and take this win. Not gonna be a big win. Like you said, it's gonna be an ugly game, but I'm gonna take them to get the win here. So what do we got? Oh, sorry. The Bengals versus the Panthers.
I've been rolling with Cincy since the preseason. I picked them to beat the Colts on the road week 1. I picked them to beat the Ravens week 2 at home. I just can't pick them to beat Carolina on the road this week. I just think Carolina's a better team at home. And the Bengals, even though I like what they do, like what they've been doing, I like their toughness. I think Carolina has the kind of defense that can shut down Andy Dalton and A.J. Green without mixing at running back. We're not sure how Bernard and company is going to do. I have to go with Carolina here.
Yeah, I don't think Gio Bernard's like an every down kind of back you can rely on, which might take away the running game almost completely there. And if it's going to be Andy Dalton and A.J. Green and nothing else, then it's tough. I mean, Carolina can shut that down if that's all they got going. I'm not a huge believer in the Panthers offense, but we saw Christian McCaffrey last week look like the guy we thought he was. They got him involved early and often, even though they lost. The Bengals have won the first two games by the exact same score, 34-23, which is a nice fun fact, but I think they come up short here. So I'll take Carolina as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Carolina also. I took them last week. I'm gonna take them again. I'm gonna roll with the Panthers here. Big Cam, he's my fantasy quarterback. I want to see him throw out some stats. Actually, in that same league, I have Christian McCaffrey as my running back. So, hoping the Panthers can light it up here. All right. Taylor left us. He's done picking. He wasn't happy about me picking the Panthers, apparently. Hopefully he'll come back when it gets to his go-round. Rick, guess you and me are just talking, man. How about Tennessee versus Jacksonville?
Okay, here we go. You know what? Jacksonville looked like the best team in the AFC last week when they beat the Patriots. And you and I both went with old man Brady, and guess what? Jacksonville made old man Brady look old. That's what they did. And so this week they're playing either against Gabbert or a banged-up Mariota, and they're playing against a team that is more heavily on the run, which Jacksonville can easily stop because they got the best defense in the AFC, if not the whole NFL. You have to go with Jacksonville here, not only for the money line, but for the spread as well. I'm going with Jaguars.
Yeah, I'll just jump in since Taylor's not back yet. I'm inclined to agree with you. I mean, just watching that Jacksonville versus Patriots game, man, it was just, whew.
Yeah, Taylor just pulled a Vontae Davis right there. That quit halfway through. Yeah, Vontae is back. Welcome back, Vontae Davis. You came back. You didn't retire on us. By the way, we were just talking about your Blake Bortles.
Yep.
Oh, there he goes again. You know what? Goodbye, Vontae.
At least Vontae didn't come back and then say, "Oh, I'm leaving again."
Taylor automatically gets a loss for that one, no matter who. That's just an L.
But, well, I mean, obviously, we'll just chalk it up. He's just taking his Blake Bortles. I think, as he's told us before, Blake Bortles is what did he say? A god among men.
He says a god among men. He has a poster of him. Like, I'm waiting for him to get like a poster right behind his chair of Blake Bortles. I think from every week now, Taylor needs a poster of Blake Bortles right behind him, and the Cleveland Browns fat head on the other side.
Sorry about that.
That's all right, I guess.
Welcome back, Vontae.
Yeah, I didn't mean to quit on you there.
But yeah, Rick, like I was saying, just like the hype that Jacksonville's probably on after beating New England, I think they're just going to come in and stomp on the Titans. So I would easily take the Jaguars here outright. And since I had to skip Taylor since he pulled Devontae on us, I guess we'll go back to him. But I think we know he's going to take his Blake Bortles.
Yeah, Tennessee without Mariota potentially, that's an easy win for Jax.
He's going with his man crush Monday, Blake Bortles.
Bortles bandwagon for life.
Let's see. We talked about the Chargers and the Rams game a lot throughout our show. I think we're all in consensus that we'll all take the Rams on that one. How about the Cowboys versus the Seahawks?
This is a tough game. I don't believe in the Cowboys at all. I think they're a terrible team. The only reason they won this last week is because they played against the Giants, who are a worse team, at least right now. Giants have more talent. However, they're not playing up to their potential. Dallas is terrible. They have no receivers. The defense is average. They got a running game and an offensive line that's been inconsistent. I don't trust Dak Prescott. They're going to another tough place to play. Yes, Seattle hasn't looked great in the first 2 weeks, and that's understandable. They just played on the road at Chicago. back at home, Seattle's a better team. The crowd will be on their side. Dallas isn't a good team. Taking Seattle here.
Yeah, I'm tempted to take the Cowboys just because I don't think the Seahawks are any good either, but they are at home. It's their first home game. That place is a pretty big-time home field advantage for them, so I'll take Seattle as well.
Yeah, I don't much care for either of these teams. I'm not sold on either of them. I guess I'm inclined to say I'm less impressed with the Cowboys than I am with the Seahawks. So I'll take the Seahawks here to win. I don't even think we need to get into the Bears and the Cardinals here. I think we're all in consensus there with the Bears.
Easy money.
How about I think we touched on this a little bit, but how about New England and Detroit?
Oh, part of my easy money. This could be the easiest pick of the week. New England, money line, bounce back from an embarrassing loss against a terrible Detroit defense. Easy. New England, right here, money line. Take them.
I don't know why I thought the Lions would be better this year, but they're clearly not. They're still the same old Lions, I guess. So, yeah, New England after a tough loss on the road. Josh Gordon, I imagine, will be playing, hopefully. So I'll take New England.
I will subscribe to my old adage, which admittedly did not work for me last week, but don't bet against Tom Brady. So
unless he's facing Blake Bortles.
Unless he's facing Blake Bortles.
Your addendum.
So, yeah, taking New England, taking Tom Brady with this one to just absolutely stomp Detroit. All right, last one. Prime time, Monday Night Football. Pittsburgh Steelers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No, I said the Bucs are a risky bet, and I think you're foolish if you take them. It's a huge risk. I believe Pittsburgh's going to win this one. I will never pick the Bucs to win, and I still think they're the worst team in the league. And I'm going with the Steelers.
I'll be foolish and take the Bucs, even though I know they're a total trap and they're going to come back down to earth. Steelers have looked bad. They're on the road. It's Monday night. Fitz magic. I'll take Buccaneers.
I'm on the Fitz magic train until he proves me otherwise. I'm taking Tampa Bay to beat the Steelers here. Not by a lot. I think they're going to. I think Steelers are going to come in. They're going to score, and I could see this being a really high scoring game for sure. But I'm going to see Ryan Fitzpatrick walk away with the win in the end here on Monday Night Football.
3-0. First place in the NFC South, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. NFC
Boy,
South.
I missed that one on the worst team in the league.
Still got time.
Yeah, maybe Arizona will win 3 games.
Yeah, right.
Guys, that's going to do it for our straight-up money line picks here. That is also going to do it for our Odds-On Favorite podcast show. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode to see how we did with our picks this week. We'll readdress that in the Show Me the Moneyline segment again next week. Until we see you guys then. Cut that out. Done.